off a daily fantasy. His number too high, then I'm probably fading him. He been on the road, he gon' eat up my salary. I hit up by, he gon' lie before lock. Play back to back, then I probably won't pick on the DFS bachelor, good as it gets. Build a few liners and hit me a leg. He had a good game, but it might be a trick. Log in the Slack so I know who to pick. Sharing our liners, we all gon' get rich. New to this game, you should come to the pad. You might want some cash and get a good laugh. DFS sports, we gon' run up a bag. He heard every game and it's making me mad. You buying your lineups, I think you a cheater. DFS bachelor, he the new leader. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Bachelor Pad. I, of course, am your host of DFS Bachelor, and we're going to go over our fantasy draft NBA picks for Monday, March 9th. It's a little 3-game slate. As usual, we do our quick core 5 early in the morning here. As you know, especially on days like today where a lot of the teams are on back-to-backs that are playing. Illnesses are going around everywhere. Stock market's tumbling. It's all telling me, so a lot can happen. Make sure you stay up on the NBA news throughout the day. First things first, thank you for all your support, making me a part of your day, all your kind words, etc. Putting up with me wearing my goofy hat. The hair is just, it's not happening this morning. It just ain't happening. So this is how we're going to roll. I truly do appreciate you all. Cheers to all of you. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Be sure to hit subscribe down below. Get access to all of our content. NBA for Fantasy Draft, FanDuel, DraftKings. I will have XFL this week. Had a great weekend in XFL, actually. In terms of DFS, went really well this weekend. So we'll be back to all of that. Last week was a little bit different of a schedule. So we'll do our fantasy draft giveaway, maybe do a couple of them this week. One tomorrow, maybe I'll get on the horn with them and talk to them about that, and one for sure on Friday. So I appreciate all your patience with all of that. If you are new to Fantasy Draft is rake-free DFS. What that means is all your entry fees go directly back into the prize pool. So when you do win, you win more and you have a higher chance of winning. It's a lot of fun. If you do not yet have a Fantasy Draft account, go to fantasydraft.com, enter promo code DFS Bachelor, and then you can comment with your Fantasy Draft username down below and qualify for the giveaway there as well. So with 3 games, like I said, it's not like we have a huge amount of players to choose from, and it's also important just to kind of keep an eye on all these teams. I know when illness is running around that Atlanta locker room. We know Giannis is out today. They're playing on a back-to-back. We've got Toronto playing on a back-to-back. So there's certainly some things to keep an eye on throughout the day. So let's start at the top. Of course, Trae Young, and he's going to be very popular and for good reason. He's 18,200 on Fantasy Draft. So that's the equivalent of 9,100 on DraftKings. You will notice it has double the salary cap as DraftKings. Now, overall, Charlotte's pretty good against guards. They're 10th overall in Fantasy Draft scoring against guards. They're 7th overall against point guards. His last 2 games against Charlotte, a 49 and a 40. So there is some, I'd say there is some weight in pivoting to like a Jokic to pay up for up there with Giannis gone. Like he should have an easy time with Lopez inside. He also doesn't have a great history against Milwaukee. A 75 and a 63, but that was 4 games ago. But I like Trae Young an awful lot tonight. I like his price on Fantasy Draft at 18.2, getting him for the equivalent of 9,100. Jeff Teague may miss tonight. He's got an illness thing going on. DeAndre Hunter's questionable. Down the stretch, these teams who are out of the playoff hunt, it's going to be tough. Teams like Atlanta and Charlotte, both, they're going to be difficult teams to predict because they're going to be wild. Bottom line. Next, with no Giannis, Bledsoe and Middleton are both locks for me. Anytime there's no Giannis, now they are in a back-to-back. You worry about them resting. They have the Eastern Conference essentially locked up. I mean, I don't see them losing the top seed in the East. So it wouldn't shock me if one of them rests with Giannis out. They're just going to try to load manage these guys. But if they both play, they're both absolutely in play. You can see yesterday they put up a 43 and a 42, each of them. You've got Bledsoe at 11,300, the equivalent of 5,600. Now Denver is 3rd against guards in terms of Fantasy Draft scoring, and they are 13th against point guards overall. Eric Bledsoe, a 31, a 42, and a 37 in his last 3 versus Denver. When you go to Chris Middleton, they are 4th against opposing shooting guards, Denver is. In terms of Fantasy Draft scoring, they're 5th against shooting guards, small forward. He's 13.9 on Fantasy Draft, the equivalent of just about 7K, which is what he is on DraftKings. He's got a 37, a 34, and a 27. In his last 3 against Denver, remember, no Giannis, extra usage for both. I like Bledsoe and Middleton. Look, in a 3-game slate, you're going to have to try to do something different. So maybe playing them both together since they're going to be so popular with Trae Young. Try to do something a little different. 3-game slates. You guys all know how that goes. At forward/center, I like PJ Washington against Atlanta. Atlanta, a lot against power forwards, 30th in terms of fantasy draft scoring. Overall against power forwards, let me find it. They are 28th overall. 11,400 on fantasy drafts. You're getting him for about 5,700 on DraftKings. Now today he is 5,600 on DraftKings, so you're getting him at a good price. I think I had the wrong DraftKings prices for Bledsoe and Middleton earlier here. Yeah, Trae Young's 10-3 on DraftKings today, so you're getting him at a real nice price on Fantasy Draft. Bledsoe's at 5.7 right there where you're at. Chris Middleton is 7.6. So, yeah, we're getting a nice price for all of them. PJ Washington today is 5.6 on DraftKings, so you're getting him for about the same value. His last game out against Atlanta, his only game against Atlanta, he put up a 41. He's playing a ton of minutes. Atlanta struggles defensively inside. I like PJ Washington an awful lot tonight. And his front court mate, Miles Bridges. He's 10,800 on Fantasy Draft. That's the equivalent of 5,400 on DraftKings. He's at 5,500. Overall, against small forwards, Atlanta allows the second most fantasy points in the league to opposing small forwards. In terms of Fantasy Draft scoring, they're 21st. When you look at his last game against Atlanta, he put up a 30 as well. I think he's a really nice play tonight. Other guys, for sure, I like Terry Rozier against Atlanta. I'm going to have a lot of that Charlotte-Atlanta game and Milwaukee-Denver. Raptors-Jazz could be sneaky at night. I just worry, you got Toronto on a back-to-back, etc. So we'll just have to see how that goes. So with that core 5 of Trae Young, Eric Bledsoe, Chris Middleton, PJ Washington, Miles Bridges, it still leaves you $11,466 per player to finish your roster, which is plenty of salary to go through. Keep an eye on the news throughout the day. You can follow me on Twitter at DFS Bachelor. All the news that comes out before the slate kicks off a half hour later than normal today. I hate this losing an hour over the weekend, by the way. It's dark and snowing outside right now. It's just ridiculous. Anyways, I digress. But I like that core 5. Don't forget to comment with your Fantasy Draft usernames down below. The drawing is coming soon. We'll give away some free entries. We've had a couple of really good success stories with those free entries where they turned it into a ton of cash. So I really, really like that. Again, cheers to you all. Thank you so much for all your support. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Our other NBA video will be out right after this. We'll announce our $25 PayPal giveaway winner for the week, so be sure to check that out. Thank you all again so much. May the fantasy gods be with you, and we will see you all here in just a bit with our other NBA video. And for you Fantasy Draft users, we'll see you tomorrow with our Fantasy Draft NBA content as well. Thanks again so much. Goodbye, folks.